The reported Beckham family saga continues. Brooklyn and David apparently came very close to bumping into each other this week. Brooklyn was in London for a new modelling campaign, whilst his dad was just half a mile up the road at the Chelsea Flower Show chatting to King Charles and Queen Camilla. So what lengths would you go to avoid a very awkward encounter? I mean, it can be awkward. Do you front it up, Jane, or do you run a mile?
OK, so it depends, right? So if I'm avoiding them for whatever reason, then if I see them, I will go a country mile to not encounter them. I will avoid them at all costs. If they're avoiding me and I don't know why, I'll be straight up there going, have I done something to upset you? Why have you not replied to any of my messages? I don't understand. So it depends.
It depends. What if they're trying to avoid you, and so basically it turns into a little sort of a run around
I am unavoidable. When I'm unavoidable.
Yeah, I mean, it's a horrible situation to be in. I mean, you're like me. I don't like any confrontation.
I don't like confrontation. I mean, I would though. Again, like you say, because I'd get totally paranoid about it if I thought someone was not speaking to me and I didn't know.
For years, we thought we were enemies.
We avoided each other for years.
It was all ridiculous.
On some carpets, they said, have you got anything to say to Denise while she was in Big Brother? And you went, no, I have not. Because the press made up this thing that we both hated each other.
It was completely
so we
rubbish.
started to believe it. So I thought she hated me and she thought that. So we used to avoid each other at functions all the time.
So when we finally worked together, it was a miracle.
We asked if we could be handcuffed together for the rest of our lives.
I'll tell you about... I hate confrontation too.
What?
I know you'll find that hard to believe.
All right, Pinocchio, carry on.
Well, I had a row with my neighbours. It was entirely me. I found them insufferable for all sorts of reasons. But every Christmas, they sent me a Christmas card. They put all their names on it, and it was all, oh, Happy Christmas, Janet. So I would think, oh, I've better send them one back, like you do, even though you don't mean it. So I'd copy out all their names. And then I'd wait for my partner to come to London to see me. And I went, will you post this Christmas card through the letterbox next door? And he went, Janet, it's only next door. I went, I can't walk up to their front door. What if I'm putting the letter through the letterbox and they open the door and then I'm going to see them?
You just couldn't front them up in that way at all.
Absolutely not.
However, when it comes to being a journalist and you have to potentially write about someone, Jeremy Clarkson.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm a bit like Jane in that... when you write a column, you offend loads of people, but you forget about it immediately.
Literally straight away.
Almost, you just...
We don't know.
No, I know.
We're like Dory the goldfish this end.
Yeah, what I do is I write a piece and I've got all these opinions and then I've literally wiped it from my brain a week later. So apparently... well, it's actually what happened. I wrote a column saying Jeremy Clarkson was a pompous prat, blah, 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 blah. Because I'd read something when he described his day and what he did, and I thought, oh, please, get over it. And I really had a go at him. Anyway, literally, about 6 months later, I was at a mutual friend's birthday and I saw Jeremy Clarkson and I went up to him and I went, oh, hi, Jeremy, how are you? And he went, aren't you supposed to hate me?
Oh,
I just couldn't believe it. And then I didn't know what to say. I was standing there, absolutely caught out.
Yeah. It is an awkward feeling, though, if you feel like the other person's hurt for any reason. I would.
Yeah,
well, if it's a family
a
situation...
female journalist wrote something horrible about me once, and I hit her around the head with a handbag. Didn't do that again.
Did you?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
This is the woman who hates confrontation.
Absolutely. Yeah, that handbag is kept close.
I can't wait for celebrity handcuff.
Well, this is exactly it, because it's a very interesting show. Jonathan Ross is launching this. It's going to be called Handcuff. It takes 8 pairs of strangers with completely opposed opinions, lifestyles, bad habits, and it handcuffs them together 24 hours
Oh, is it for a whole
day.
24 hours?
Well, no, I think it's more than that, because the pairs go on a road trip in the hope that they can find some sort of common ground.
Wow.
It's a very interesting concept. I'm not sure... Yeah,
I would
handcuffs, it's a particularly close proximity here.
Fine with Janet if she didn't talk about tomatoes.
But what about if you were going to the loo a lot and I had to go in with you?
That is exactly what I thought.
Would I have to stand outside?
Well, you don't. You stand outside and you just have the door open that
Yeah, but
much.
not if you're doing a...
Yeah.
And also, if it's 24 hours, we'd have to sleep in the same bed.
Yes, exactly that. But I think the social
wouldn't be happy
Well,
with
make
that.
sure you pick someone really fit who you don't like.
The social experiment aspect of this is it possible to reconcile, even, you know, people that you think there is not a hope in heck of that ever happening? Actually, is it possible
think
when
it'll
you're
be-
forced to
I think
front
it'll be quite
your-
interesting. And
Yeah.
I think that sometimes, especially politically, you want to scream and say, why can't the two of you just sit in a room and talk to each other? Because I think that, you know, so many of the problems could be solved. I mean, it's a bit like wife swap, isn't it? It's just a more extreme version of wife swap. But I think it'll be quite fascinating, to be honest.
It's getting the balance of the people, though, but obviously for the purposes of television, it's got to be two extremes. So,
Yeah.
you know,
But it's like the old show Wife Swap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or whatever. I think it's just if you put anybody... I think people have stopped listening to each other, particularly in the kind of vacuum of social media. Everybody just, like, rants their point of view and then they don't seek out other people's opinions, and then the algorithms just give them more of the same
Well, that's
opinion.
it.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
I think there's a lot to be said for just being put face-to-face with somebody and actually listening to what they've got to say and vice versa, and you probably find that actually there's some commonality in that.
Exactly.
Would you like my list of who I don't want to be handcuffed?
I can't say
Oh,
mine
my
on the
God.
telly.
Go on, then.
Go on.
Politicians, any politician I don't want to be handcuffed to. Anyone who lives their life on fitness apps and
Yeah.
goes on about it the whole time.
Yeah.
Hey, Adams.
Yeah.
A sleep bore. People that tell you all the time about how much they've slept, when they slept, when
And
they
they've got
didn't
sleep
sleep, what
trackers.
their
Oh, my
dreams
God,
were.
I've just got a new sleep app.
There you
I'll tell
are. I don't want to be
that later.
handcuffed to you.
Yeah.
Vegans, I don't mind them generally, but the ones that tell you constantly about what they can eat
And a
can't
vegan
eat, no.
cyclist.
Don't want to be
Vegan
handcuffed to a mansplainer.
Yeah.
Don't want to be handcuffed to anyone that eats papaya because I'm allergic to it.
Yeah.
Traffic wardens, no thanks.
No.
Anyone who works for HMRC, definitely not.
definitely not.
Anyone who shows you their holiday photos all the time. Oh, apparently we've run out of time.
Oh,
I've got so many.
We've only got halfway through our list and we'll never know the rest.
The thing is, me and Jenna are quite enjoying this.
Yeah.